Here's the story of the day. Globe and Mail reported this. I had James Manson of the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms on the show this week. Yeah, that's the one where you could barely hear me, but we did repost it, up the volume. Something funny was going on there. Judge agrees to expedite legal challenge of Trudeau's move to prorogue Parliament. Big, big news. What does this mean? It means the Supreme Court could overrule the prorogation of Parliament and bring back Parliament as early as, say, February 14th or 15th. What does that day, February 14th, trigger in your mind? Well, yes, I know it's Valentine's Day. What else? Well, it's the third anniversary of the invocation of the Emergencies Act. Justin Trudeau, and of course, in his twisted poetic sense, invoked the Emergencies Act on Valentine's Day. It was not an act of love. It was an act of vicious hatred against protesters he disagreed with. It was an act of complete enmity against his political opponents. And it was the very, I can't say embodiment. It was the reification of his detestation of democracy. That's what that was all about. Now, here's what the court said here. Yes, I put my glasses on. People hate it when they squint. This is the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms application. The applicants maintain that their application is truly urgent and requires the court's immediate attention to determine whether the Parliament can immediately resume sitting to protect Canada's interests in the face of threatened actions by the United States. Those threatened actions are stated to be President-elect Trump's stated intention to impose a 25% tariff on all goods entering the United States from Canada on his first day in office as president. The court agreed with that. Is it possible Justin Trudeau is losing support even in the judiciary? But is it possible Justin Trudeau anticipated this happening? Think about this for a second. Is it possible that Justin Trudeau anticipated precisely the court deciding this, that they would have to go back to Parliament? And what if the NDP decides, hey, now's our chance? Now's our chance to bring this government down because the Liberals are weakened. They don't have a new leader. They'll have to go with Justin Trudeau. Do you think that's the plan, though, from the beginning? Why do you think Justin Trudeau's been wandering around looking like a candidate, going to events, glad handing, having a great time, looking like he's just too happy? I wonder if this was the plan from the beginning. Now, what did I tell you before 5 weeks ago? We've already seen this happen. And guess whose political career it happened to? Yeah. Justin Trudeau's apparent father, Pierre Trudeau. Now, Justin Trudeau would vaguely remember this, but this was 1979, and I've explained this before. The Liberal Party is out of power after 63, 16 years. The Liberal Party has been in power since 1963 under Lester Pearson. Goes through 5 years minority governments under Pearson. Pierre Trudeau becomes the leader of the party in 1968, gets a majority. Pierre Trudeau is in power from 1968 to 79. He's defeated on May 22nd of that year by Joe Clark, the progressive conservative, who I really have no time for today, but that's beside the point. He ended all of those years, of 16 years of Trudeau and Pearson rule, Liberal Party rule. Pierre Trudeau does not like being the leader of the official opposition. It's obvious he hates the job. And he decides in November to resign. Now let's have a look at this. Because people always say, yeah, I remember when Trudeau resigned, if you're around, in 1984, he decided to resign. Took that walk in the snow in Ottawa here. It was a February evening. It's February 29th, actually. because it was leap year, and it only comes once in 4 years. So people joked, you can only celebrate Trudeau's demise every 4 years. So that is what happened in 1984. But what happened in 1979? Trudeau resigned for the first time, and the party begged him to come back because there was a snap election in 1980 in February 28th, I believe it was. There was a snap election. The Liberal Party did not have a new leader. In fact, they'd barely begun to have a leadership convention or planning for a leadership convention. They were caught off guards. So they said to Pierre Trudeau, please come back, lead the party. And let's watch this, because this is precisely what's happening right now with Justin Trudeau.
Nearly 12 years as leader of the Liberal Party, I'm stepping down. That after spending nearly 12 years as leader of the Liberal Party, I'm stepping down from the leadership and asking the National Executive of the party to call a convention for next March to choose a new leader. There's no easy way or ideal time to leave.
Trudeau said today he's going to stay on in politics and that he'll try again to become Canada's Prime Minister.
I have accepted the strong appeal of the National Liberal Caucus and the National Liberal Executive, and I will lead our party in the current election campaign. If they love me so much that they want me forever, the answer is, I'm sorry they can't have me. But if they want me and our party for a few years, well, we're here.
Trudeau's decision left most of the Liberals here and in the National Executive gasping in relief.
That's the way it was with Pierre Trudeau. The Liberal Party begged him to come back because there was a snap surprise election and they were unprepared. This could happen if the court decides prorogation never happened and the House of Commons is back in session on February 14th or 15th. Good chance the NDP could vote with the Conservatives on a non-confidence motion, because there'll never be a better chance for the NDP at that point. That would be their opportunity to try to salvage what they can from the disaster they've made under Jagmeet Singh. And as I said, Jagmeet Singh would get his pension. That's not going to be a barrier, because that's been the barrier up till now. Jagmeet Singh refuses to have a non-confidence vote, refuses to bring the government down, because he's waiting to get his pension date, which is in March. Bring the government down in mid-February, there won't be an election until at least March 15th. Minimum is 4 weeks. So Jagmeet Singh is safe. He can get his pension. And that's what it comes down to in politics. It's that greedy. It's that venal. It's that disgusting. That's what politics in Canada has come to. Now, Justin Trudeau could well say, just like his father said, well, if you want me back, I'll come back. Maybe not for good, maybe not forever, but I'll come back just to lead the party in the next election because you need me. And besides, who else have they got? We'll have a look at the polls in a minute here. They're not doing any better under, and as I said, Justin Trudeau is going to use the fight with Donald Trump as a reason for Canadians to rally round the Liberal Party, which he says represents Canada, which he says represents all parties now. If you're not with Justin Trudeau, if you're not with Team Trudeau, you're treasonous. You're against the country. You're being selfish. Doug Ford thinks so. Doug Ford is in Trudeau's pocket.
Qu'on va prendre, on a été tous unanimement d'accord. Any comments in English on that one?
Oh, I'm good.
Come on, get busy and sell this fish. Fresh fish! Fresh fish! Fresh fish!
I'm good. Thank you.
Fresh fish!
The only premier who's saying no is Danielle Smith, and she's right. Because the federal government has no right to tell Alberta where it can sell its gas. Danielle Smith, in standing up for Alberta sovereignty in this area, is standing up for Canada, because that's what Canada is based on. Provincial autonomy over natural resources. That's about Canada as well as provincial rights. People need to remember that. Justin Trudeau has no right to infringe upon provincial autonomy just because he wants to be the guy who's fighting Donald Trump. But Justin Trudeau will use the trade war. He'll use the fight against Donald Trump to say that he's Mr. Canada, or he's the Sun King. La tate, c'est moi. That is Justin Trudeau's strategy all along. He'll continue to do it. Let's listen to this.
Right now, Pierre Poilievre, who wants to be Prime Minister for all Canadians, has a choice to make. Either he stands up to fight for all Canadians alongside all premiers and the federal government that are doing that, or he chooses to stand with Danielle Smith, Kevin O'Leary, and ultimately Donald Trump.
All she's really doing, despite the fact she's pretending to distance herself from Justin Trudeau's cabinet, from Justin Trudeau's government, she's repeating the same talking points that Justin Trudeau has been repeating all week, which is, thank you, Doug Ford, for coming on side and being in my pocket, as you always are when I do stupid things. Thank you, Doug Ford, for supporting me. And Danielle Smith, you're a traitor to Canada because you are defending your province and you're defending actually the Canadian Constitution. That makes you a potential traitor to Canada. Oh, and Pierre Poilievre, you're not on my side either. So that means you are against Canada and you're on Donald Trump's side. Chrystia Freeland is repeating the talking points that Justin Trudeau is repeating. Could that indicate that this is all a big game? This Liberal leadership campaign with Mark Carney pretending he really wants to be the leader of a party that's headed for a political extinction. That Chrystia Freeland pretending she's a new woman. She represents change. It's all a huge facade.